Wake up early every day and think about you. Wake up early and I feel your grace, I feel it all. I found love, this is enough, I won't let go.
The Wisdom and Opinion Show.
Welcome to the Wisdom and Opinion Show featuring your man, Prophet Josiah. It's all types of crazy things happening with my microphone right now, but it's all good. As always, we have the infamous, the incredible Prayer does something. I don't know what else is on. Influences everything. All right.
There you go.
Listen, featuring who we got with us today.
Yo, 2B, where
As
we
always.
talk about wisdom from God and opinions
from us.
from us.
And we just wanted to introduce a show that we did last year. The show was recorded last year, and we're going to play it for you today in just a couple minutes. The show was called Racism, Black Culture, and the Police. And recently, we seen some horrible news about Jayland Walker suffered multiple gunshot wounds. And we just were talking about this. He was obviously doing something that he probably should not have been doing and ended up being killed at the hands of the police. It kind of felt like it was overkill, but that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. Tu, what you got to say?
Listen, the events that happened with Jayland Walker are something that we've seen. It seems to be a consistent pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, just being Black in America right now is a hard thing to do involving the police. Some people get arrested. Others wind up getting shot or dying or overly shot, as my man Prophet just said. So we just want to talk about that during this episode. And we hope that y'all will comment on that and let us know how y'all feel.
So sit back. I don't know if you want to get popcorn for this one or not, but it's definitely going to be a conversation
It's a
starter.
good one.
Get your white friends,
sure.
get your Black friends, get your Hispanic friends, get everybody together, and let's just
Word.
go right into the show right now. Once again, we are back. Welcome to the Wisdom and Opinion Show with me, your man, Prophet Josiah, as well as
Boy 2B, where we share wisdom from God
and
and opinions
from us.
from us.
It's as simple as that. And yo, we got a lot of opinions today.
We definitely do.
And I pray that God shares his wisdom because we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know when the audience is going to see this video. I may put it, before this part or maybe after this part, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But anyway, we just watched the video, and surprisingly, the video's with a white guy who is in a truck. He gets pulled over by the police, and he basically does everything wrong.
He said he's not going to shop the car, so.
Okay. That's all right. Just keep an eye on it. Just get the right foot. Just put your hand on the steering wheel. No. What are you reaching for?
Oh,
whoa. Hey,
Get out of the car, man. You got a gun right there.
Whoa.
Get out of the
There's
car.
rights. There's rights to
Get
this.
out.
There are rights to this.
Do you have a concealed
There are
carry?
rights there.
Get out.
Hold up right there. It's open. My hands are up. No,
you got
This is on body cam. You have a body cam, sir?
Put
Do you have
your
a body
hands
cam?
over your eyes.
Do you have a body cam?
Put your hand over
Do you
your
have a body cam, sir?
Put your hands
Do
over
you
your
have a
eyes.
body cam, sir? Yeah, you're gonna
I will send this dog on you.
I will shoot you
Hey,
if you do.
don't fucking grab my gun.
You
Put
have rights.
your hand.
You have rights too. You have rights
Don't
too.
you dare.
You have rights. You have rights. You
Right.
cannot
Don't you
shoot me
dare.
here.
You
This is
need to be-
unconstitutional. You know that.
Right, you have a
Whoa.
weapon,
Hey.
okay?
Yes, I
Don't.
do. And it's
Don't.
What I need you to do.
Hey, you
Oh,
guys
listen.
are grabbing me on this is also unconstitutional. Body cam request.
Can you quit yelling so I can talk to you?
You have a gun
need more
for me,
units
sir.
right now.
I need you to relax for me,
I
okay?
will shoot you if this possible. If that's a threat and so open that you have no body cam. You know this.
He has a
My
body
hands are open.
camera.
My hands are open.
Okay.
My hands are open.
You need to get out of the
No,
car
I
so
do
we
not.
can remove you
I
from
do
that
not.
weapon.
You cannot. No, it is constitutionally owned. I see that.
Do you have a concealed carry permit?
It is not concealed.
Yes,
You
it
can
is.
see the weapon. It's right there.
Don't
Body
do
cam.
it.
Body cam. What are you afraid of?
Don't do it.
I'm not doing anything.
Do me a favor. Just please step out of the car. That's all we're asking you to
Oh,
do.
you're asking me not to use
Yes.
Yes, please.
Conceal your weapons, please.
No.
This is how we treat each other civilly. This
Please.
is how we act civilly. You know
Sir.
this. Right eye. Right eye.
You got cover?
No. Just
Yes, we do.
don't. Just
Do
please.
you have body count?
Please.
Do you have body count? Do not forcibly remove
Do not.
me.
Don't.
Whoa.
Do it.
You know
Don't.
that. You know that. That's not
Please.
no,
I need you to get out of the car.
House. Ben, house.
Hey, I see double blue, sir. Are you gonna shoot me on double blue?
Just relax.
No,
Please
just relax.
Hey,
There's
please
rights
get out of
to
the car.
this. There's rights to this. You know there are rights to
Listen,
this.
we can figure this out.
We can talk about this,
Oh,
okay?
this how you
But right
feel
now,
about this.
we can't
Listen.
talk about it with you not listening to us.
Just-
Well, now listen, you
Okay.
are forcibly grabbed.
All I'm asking you to
You're
do,
violating my rights right now. Let go of me.
You just put your hand on a gun,
sir.
Whoa. No, you pulled a gun on me unconstitutionally.
Please.
And I did my in response.
Get,
Oh.
we don't want
Please.
to do this, man.
Just
okay?
get out of the car. I'm just asking. We'll get this figured out. Just come out.
Okay,
Just get out of the
you
car.
release me now.
We can't do that.
Release it. I have Second Amendment rights, David.
Okay. Just get out of the car. Come on. Come back here. We'll
Excuse
talk
me?
about it.
Excuse me. This right here is a reason
We'll
to
get
defend
this-
myself, cast doctrine. You know that.
We'll get this figured out. Don't do it. Please. Just come on.
Get out of the car, sir.
Just get out of the car. Just step out.
The gun's down.
No, just
No,
step
get
out.
out of the car.
Just step out of the car. Just get. Don't do it.
Get out of the car.
You're on double blue. You know what's gonna happen, right?
Just stop.
You need to get out of the car. That's
No,
a
I
lawful
don't.
order. You're going to go to
What,
jail.
a gunpoint? Oh, take me to jail then. Go ahead.
Just
Right
come
now,
on.
you're obstructing.
I can't.
No, you're obstructing. You're pointing a gun at me, sir. Right now, my life's in threat.
Okay. Well, we have.
I don't even see body cam on this, sir. I'm just gonna drive away. I'm not gonna bother anybody.
No, you're
Hands
not.
on the seat.
Don't do this.
No.
Don't do it. Don't.
They tell him to get out the car. He doesn't get out the car. He has a weapon that the police see on the side. He grabs the weapon and tells the cop, I will shoot you. On more than once, correct?
Twice.
Twice. He said, I will shoot you. He puts the gun back down. The cop says, get out the car. He doesn't get out the car. They open the door. They try to pull him out of the car. He says no. They don't fight him to get out of the car. They're just like, oh, well, I guess he's not getting out. Then they started pleading with him. Sir, could you please get out of the car?
Please figure this out.
We just want to help you. We can figure this out. We're on your side, pal. We're doing everything we could do here. The guy closes the door. Now, the whole time, the guy is citing all types of, you know what I'm saying, how he got castle rights and, you know what I'm saying, this, you know, it's my Second Amendment right. I'm saying you can't be telling me this, and that. You know what I'm saying? And he closes the door. He says, you see my hands, right? I'm about to put them on the steering wheel. They say, no, don't put your hands on the steering wheel. Puts his hands on the steering wheel. I'm going to leave now. This is what the guy says. I'm going to leave now. Turns the key, starts the car, and literally drives off.
Literally.
And he's still alive.
Guarantee he's still alive. And the thing about it is, for me, well, two things. First of all, after all that, they did not shoot even at his car when he drove off. They shot no bullets at his car, even after he drove off. You know what I mean? They didn't even follow the man. Man went home. He might have stopped at Walmart or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he went wherever he went with no bullets. Not only that, but the biggest thing that I took out of watching that video, and I hope everybody else will take out of watching it, is that he said he had rights, but why don't we have the same rights?
But we
That
do
is
have,
the-
though, but here's the thing. We do have the same rights on paper. On this
Yeah, I'm about to
invisible
say.
piece of paper. On this invisible piece of
Yeah.
paper that's in my hand. Do you see
I'm
the
about to
rights?
say.
Do you see them?
You-
I don't see anything but my hand. Yeah.
We're not getting the opportunity for anyone to beg and plead with us. We're not getting the opportunity for anyone to, for us to say, hey, we got right. Well, actually, we saying we got rights, but it don't matter because they slamming our face in the ground. Like when we say it, we're not getting the opportunity to put our hands on the police officer's weapon. And, not only that, but when they touch us to tell us to get off of us and they actually listen, we're not getting none of those opportunities. We're being profiled from the jump, and then we're winding up. Well, the people that this happening to is winding up getting shot and getting killed, and it's ridiculous. So yeah, stop killing us is a major point of where I'm at with it tonight.
Yeah, and I think, what I was going to say earlier was the question is always asked, why does this keep happening? And what I see on social media and on the news is people be talking about, well, the cops need better training. If they were trained better, they would do differently. And like, I don't think it has anything to do with training. Like you can't train racism out of a person. You can't train,
No, you can't.
You can't train fear out of a person. I think there's a genuine fear of Black people that isn't like natural. It's like, I don't know if they think we like boogeymen or something. It's like, he got superpowers. Let's just shoot him now before he like turned an Incredible Hulk or something. It's like, it just don't make sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they always are saying like, well, I fear for my life. I fear for my life. And I've seen, you're saying that's just one video. I've seen plenty of videos where there's a white person. I mean, and it's like, well, documented. You were saying where they capture people that have been mass murderers, people that have killed 7 or 8 people. And they get, they get them in handcuffs and put them in the back of the car. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure as a cop, you get into some dangerous situations, and I'm pretty sure you always fear for your life because, I mean, it's part of the job. But why is it when it's a Black person, all types of weird things be happening where people end up shot? And with white people, it doesn't happen like that. Now, I already know. Statistics say white people be getting shot too, and this, and that. But the reality is, it's just not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
The encounters that brown people have with the police are often not good. I've had plenty of encounters with the police myself. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, I've had no issues. Cop was extremely nice. It was. I was fearful a little bit because of what's going on, but it seemed like the cops was aware of what was going on because they was like extra nice. It seemed like extra weird to me, but I thought that was cool. But I know everybody is not afforded the same opportunity of niceness. And like you said,
absolutely not.
I'm saying we shouldn't have to be afraid of like what's gonna happen to me if I get pulled over. I shouldn't have to worry about, am I on my P's and Q's or I might die. Like everybody should be afforded the right to go to court, to, you know what I'm saying, to protest your claim or your ticket or whatever. It shouldn't be my bad, you're dead.
That right there is the part that's getting me, especially, I feel like people are dying and then the cops are saying, oops, like, oh, we made a mistake, but that mistake is costing a life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that's a costly, fatal mistake. And that is the thing that's been bothering me about the Daunte Wright case that just happened recently, even about, we can go back to Botham Jean. When
This shit walked in his crib.
His house. Literally, how you gonna walk in my house and kill me and then say, I thought it was my house? Like, it's just, none of that makes sense to me.
Seeing all types of different furniture and everything.
That you ain't never seen, that you bumping into stuff that wasn't there. And then you talking about, oh, I thought it was my house. I thought it was an intruder in my house. Really? Like that. So we've seen this and we keep seeing this. Like we continually keep seeing this. It's like, okay, I did it. And then, oops, it was a mistake. My bad. Like, oh, I didn't know that was the case. And I think the biggest problem is, and has been, is that we are not seeing justice. We're not seeing the officers being held accountable for what they're doing. And I think that's the thing, man. We're not seeing the officers being held accountable for the killings that they're doing. Because at the end of the day, whether you say that it was a killing, whether you say that it was a murder, whether you say that it was an accident, whether you say that it was manslaughter, no matter what you say, people are dead. And that's the bottom line. And I feel like it would never be a good thing. It would never be something that was accepted, but it would be something to digest a little bit easier if the people who were doing it were held accountable in the court of law. Because it's not that they are not going to the court of law. They are going there. and they are getting prosecuted, they're not getting convicted.
Sometimes they go
And
to court.
sometimes, absolutely.
Sometimes, other times they just
absolutely.
get fired, or I resign. Like in the last situation, and in many situations before that, I resign.
Right.
And if I resign, guess what? I can go get hired somewhere else.
Exactly.
I wasn't fired.
They're moving them to other counties. They're letting it die down. And then, and that's that. And I feel like it's easy to do. Why? Because we put up a big fuss about the things that happen immediately, but there's so many things happening. You can't continue to keep up a big fuss because there's always something happening.
Being a fuss literally all the time.
All the time. We wouldn't have no jobs out there protesting because, you know what I mean? It's always something happening. And it's bothering me. Like, for instance, I was reading on some of the blogs that they had about this officer, I think Kim Potter or something like that. I think that's her name. Mm-hmm. And this is the one that just killed Dante Wright.
Correct. Hold on, we just got to add this in here. 26-year veteran who does not know the difference between her pistol and the taser. 26 years. Go ahead. And she was a trainer and was even training that day. So that's ridiculous that you are a trainer training other people and you say you don't know, but whatever. So it's an accident. Supposedly, I didn't know. I pulled up there. I thought it was taser. I'm yelling taser, taser, taser. Now, mind you, if you watch the video, or if anybody has watched the video, she's yelling these things, but she's got the thing pointed. So you mean to tell me you never actually look, even though it's pointed out there, you never look to say, oh, wait a minute, this is not the taser. This is actually my gun. It's because of an irrational fear. It's like
right.
It just don't make sense. And you know the thing is too, why I think I'm saying, essentially the same thing that you just said. Like the reason why they get away with it is because nobody ever goes to jail. Nobody ever gets locked up. Nobody ever gets charged for murder. And we're not the only people that's noticing that. They notice that too. So they don't have a fear of like, if I shoot this dude, I'm probably going to get like reprimanded, but I'll be good. So there's not a, you know what, let me check and make sure I'm doing the right things. As opposed to the other video with the white guy, I think there's a genuine fear. If we kill this dude, we could actually go to jail.
Right.
Because it's another white man.
Right.
So if we shoot a white man and he dies, like we're probably going to go to jail. So let's make sure we do everything correct. Let's ask them. Let's be nice. Let's do all these different things. Let's not really shoot first, ask questions later, because we're probably going to face some type of repercussions because of that. When it comes to black people, whether it's consciously or it's unconsciously, I think in the back of their mind, there's like, nothing's probably going to happen. So I fear for my life. Boom. He's dead. Dang, that's messed up. I didn't mean to do that. Chances are I'm going to still have my job. I'm not going to go to jail. So I'm not really afraid of the repercussions because I know it's probably not going to be any.
Right.
And it's just ironic that this is happening around the same time that, what's the dude named Chauvin or whatever is on trial? I don't know.
Derek Chauvin. Yeah.
And it's just like, everybody was super like, oh, that was messed up. That was 100%, you know what I'm saying? That shouldn't have happened. Well, most people.
Pardon the interruption, but if you like what you saw so far,
make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their mama to tune in right now. This is your chance. Right now. Hit the bell right now.
Back to the show.
Well, most people anyway said it was 100% shouldn't have happened. But it's like, that's the only one they recognize. Like, they don't recognize any of the other things.
Right.
I kind of want to jump to something else real quick. Like, have you ever been pulled over by the police, or have you ever had a negative thing happen to you dealing with the police?
Listen, man,
that was interesting, funny, stupid, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
I can recall 2 times, like 2 times vividly. It's been more than 2, but I can recall 2 times vividly. And the first time I had just got a new car, because as you know, if anybody's looked at the case, I don't know the officer's name offhand, but there was a case here that's been in the media recently where the officer got pulled over and had to deal with the cops or whatever. That was over having a new car and having the dealer plates that they couldn't see, right? And I remember this is, some years back, I had got a new car. I'm driving in my city, whatever. I'm happy. Like, I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? I did it. You know what I mean? I had the fresh Explorer. I'm thinking I'm doing it. I'm like, I'm killing. So I go over.
Dealer. Were you selling drugs at the time? Just checking. Because, we got to check your history and your background to find out why you were pulled over.
Right. Exactly. So it's snowing. So if you know anything about Massachusetts, it snows here. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. So it's snowing or whatever. I'm driving. I'm going up over a little bridge and I see them coming behind me. They light me up. So I'm like, I'm not worried. Right. I'm not worried because I'm like, yo, I'm in a new car. I got insurance. I got everything's good.
I got my registration.
So, yeah. I'm not worried.
Speeding.
Nothing. I'm in a new car. I'm driving slow so everybody can see me. So I wasn't worried at all.
10 miles an hour, so everybody
sees me. So the cop comes up or whatever, comes up with a flashlight, like automatic, comes up with the flashlight. So he comes up.
Daytime, nighttime?
Daytime at that. Daytime. Okay. Comes up, got the flashlight on me. He's like, is everything good here? Is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. Going to my destination. Like, yeah, but is everything all right though? Is it okay? It's all right? I'm like, yo, there's
actually,
nothing.
It's not all right because you keep asking me, is everything all right? Like, is everything all right with you?
There's literally nothing in my car. Right. I mean, there's nothing. It's a brand new. There's nothing in my car. Like, and this dude is shining a light. He's like, license and registration, please. I give him the license and registration. I'm like, can I ask what I'm being pulled over for? And he's just like, yeah, I'll tell you when I get back. Right. He's like, in a new car. He's like, I'll tell you when I get back. So he leaves, comes back with the flashlight still. Sure, everything's all right, buddy? Everything okay? Or, all right, well, I guess I can see everything's all right here. You're free to go. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
What was I pulled over for again?
Right. Never told me. Automatically, it was driving, DWB, driving while black, period.
DWB in a new car.
Right, in a new car.
Black and you beat her all you want.
Right, in a new car. And it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Because we don't, we can't get new cars. Second time, I'm with my brother. I was bringing him to a job interview to a city I had never been before. Mm-hmm. So I'm going around a rotary. Now, mind you, my brother is really, really cop leery. Like, he's one of them, like I see a cop and like, I feel like something's going to happen to people. I was not at that time.
What year was this?
Early 2000s, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like early 2000s. I'm driving, I'm bringing him, and he sees a cop. We going around a rotary, and mind you, I don't know where I'm going, and this is before GPSs.
Okay.
So we going around a rotary. We see the cop. My brother sees the cop. He was like, yo, I just seen that cop, man. He saw we was black, yo. It's about to go down. And I was like, I'm like, yo, get out of here, man. I'm driving. I'm like, yo, they ain't about to say nothing to us, man. We good. Sure enough, I get through the rotary. I get on the straightaway. The cops following behind it. They follow us until we get to the center of the city where like all the traffic is. Mm-hmm. They pull me over. And then they tell me, they call 5 other cop cars. They take me and him out of the car, tell us to sit on the sidewalk with our hands behind our heads. Wow. Tell us to sit on the sidewalk, both of us.
While they searched the car illegally.
So they threw everything out of my car. My brother starts wilding out. So he starts wilding out like, yo, man, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I hate cops right now. You know what I mean? Like, he's going ballistic. I'm like, yo, you got to calm down. We're not trying to die out here. Like, this is well before all of these cases start happening. But I knew, like, where we were.
Publicized.
They were publicized. Right. I was like, yo, I knew where we were. I'm like, yo, you got to calm down. You got to chill. Because these cats it's a place called Westfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Right? And we was there and it was crazy. I was like, they literally trailed us to the center of the city so they could just pull us out and make a spectacle. Like, oh, you got these two young Black dudes in our city. Like, we about to do this and have it be known. Only to let us go. Which was the crazy thing.
Yeah.
And they made us pick up all the stuff, put the stuff back in the car, everything like that. So it happens and this is for all of the people that want to make the excuse that, oh, it only happens when you're doing something that you don't got no business doing, things like that. For all of those that want to come up with those excuses, nah, because I have not been in those positions where that was the case and still have been racially profiled.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just a thing that happens. Now, say I told you a story earlier, you're saying I've been here and nothing really happened.
Right.
I'm saying when I was in high school, I had a funny situation. So I leave high school, I'm saying, and I go to the barbershop. I mean, this is like a typical thing. I will leave high school, walk down to the barbershop, get my hair cut, walk back home because, you know what I'm saying, the school, the barbershop, all that is all in walking distance. So it's winter time. So I have a big, you know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, this is when I'm in like Rochester, New York. So I got the super big goose coat. I got the hat on. I got my book bag on. I might have had gloves on too because it just was cold. I'm coming back from getting my hair cut. So I'm walking down the street. And while I'm walking, I'm coming up to like cross the street. A police car pulls up like really quick and stops right in front of me, like where I was about to cross the street at. I was like, wow, this dude's a jerk. I don't know why he did that. But, you know what I'm saying? This is just me. I'm just like, I don't know why he did that, but whatever. I just walked around the car. You know what I'm saying? So he pulled up, stopped. I was like, wow, this dude's a jerk. I'm like, why you do that? But I'm thinking like, well, maybe they trying to get somebody or something. So I'm not thinking it's for me. I'm just like, oh. So I just walk around the car. I cross the street and I keep walking. Now, when you cross the street, there's a corner store over here. They pull around through the corner store parking lot and then come out the other side. Mind you, I have headphones on. I've been listening to music since I'm like little. So I always got music playing. But I had the music low because, you know what I'm saying, whenever I was walking, I just like to be aware of what's happening. So they pull around, they jump out the car, and they say, yo, stop walking. Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to stop walking. Like, I have headphones on. As far as they know, I'm listening to music. They don't know that I can hear them or not. I'm just going to keep walking. I took 2 more steps. Yo, said stop walking, blah, blah. I just say, you know what? This was like close to around like Rodney King. I just was like, you know what? I remember that video. I'm just going to stop walking. So I stopped walking. I took my headphones off. I turned around and I'm just like, here we go. What's up? Yeah, so we just got a call. You know what I'm saying? You fit the description of somebody that was carrying a gun. I said, okay, what was the description? Because I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody called in supposedly just now. I just came out the barbershop. Nobody has a coat like me because I have a weird kind of coat. So somebody called in. I fit the description of somebody's carrying a gun. Okay, what was the description, sir? This dude literally looks at me and describes what I'm wearing. And I mean, he's looking me up and down. So it would be like me telling you, yo, you fit the description. And then you say, what's the description? And I go, well, somebody with a black shirt that says Daily Spiritual Checklist. They got on red headphones with a black hat. In fact, yo, what kind of shoes you got on? Nikes? Yeah, they said Nikes. Word. So his partner is like, yo, let me check your bag or whatever. You saying, is it okay if we check your bag? And I'm just like, yeah, you can check my bag. No. Here's what happened. He said, what's in your bag? I said, books. I just left the barbershop after school. It's books in my bag. His partner is like, well, yo, let me check the bag. Let me check the bag. I take the bag off to look in the bag. He opens the bag, looks in the bag, sees there's nothing but books, looks at his partner confused, like, there's nothing but books in here. And I'm like, yeah, I just got out of school and went to the barbershop. Like, oh, okay. All right, well, you good to go or whatever. And I'm just thinking, like, this is super trash. Like, you pull me over. First of all, how I get pulled over walking? I'm not.
Right.
You fit the description of a kid that just, and you know what I'm saying? Like, anybody that knew me, I'm not one of these dudes. I'm not the street dude that I don't got the grimy face. Yo, I go to school, I get my hair cut, I walk home. I don't look like anybody's suspect. like at all. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you think I'm a suspect means that like you really don't know what's going on and you just see my skin. Like, oh, it's a black dude with a big coat. He probably got a gun in his bag.
But yo, the worst thing is that even in that scenario that you just mentioned, I've seen documentaries, plenty of documentaries on people who have went to jail for life for the same thing. Right. You know what I mean? Like cops have been trying to solve a case or whatever, and they'll put it on somebody random black or whatever who, you know, has absolutely no idea what's going on and they don't have the money to get a defense attorney to be able to fight for their rights to get them out. And they do life. You know what I'm saying? I've seen this over and over. And now, you know, you got the Justice Project and different things like that are, you know, coming in to help free some of these people. But I've seen these scenarios happen over and over and over again. And dirty cops, so to speak, because people want to, and hold up, while I'm at it, let me say, my agenda is not to bash all cops. I'm not saying that
for sure
that all cops are bad, because that's not true. There's some good cops out there of all races. There's some cops out there that do their job, that are fair, that do what they're supposed to do. So I'm not saying that, and I don't want it to come off like that's the case here. I just want to talk about the ones who don't do what they're supposed to do. And I do want to bring to light the fact that there are some that are dirty. There are some that are racist. And there are some that are profiling and are setting people up for their greater gain. And so even in your scenario, it's been numerous people who have had to do life for crimes that they didn't even do. And some of them had to do death for crimes that they didn't do because they had to go to death row. They exhausted all their appeals and their possibilities of ever getting out and wound up dying for crimes that they did not do, which is crazy.
Right. And I mean, I was lucky because he could have put anything in my bag. And been like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, yo, like, I don't know nothing about no drugs. I don't know nothing about no weapon. Like, oh, we found this in your bag. You got to come with us. No, I mean, just like you said, just because they want to, you know, try to solve a case, so to speak, or you know, saying make it look like a case is solved. You know, what I'm saying, to kind of jump to the next part here. What's the solution? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know that there's a problem. We all know that, you know, things are not perfect. You know what I'm saying? We live in a world that is full of sin, full of things that's not right. It's easy to point out the things that are wrong. Like, yo, this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong, that's wrong. But like, what is the solution? And I want to start off by saying, you know, one of the solutions, which I don't even know how this could happen, but like one of the solutions is Black people in media have to be portrayed differently. If you only see Black people in a negative light everywhere you look, you think that that's real life. So like if you only see Black people on the news in handcuffs, if you only see Black people in movies committing robberies or doing negative things, and that's all you ever see, in your mind, you don't have a way to differentiate that from like real life. You're like, oh, this is the only time I see Black people is in a negative light. This even happens to other Black people. because we
Right.
never see black people in a positive light. You go somewhere, you see another black person, you got to check yourself. Like, you wondering, like, yo, what's this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Like, he's just doing the same thing you doing, trying to live life. But because every time you see somebody with brown skin, it's often negative. So I think one of the solutions is to start to start visibly showing people in media positive things that we are doing. Everybody's not a murderer. Everybody's not a you know what I'm saying, some type of crime. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of the right criminal. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not some type of criminal. And so I think one of the solutions is to start showing people in a positive light. Show the teacher that's doing awesome with the kids. Show the parent that's doing this awesome thing. Show the dude that just started a new movie. Show the actor that's doing other types of roles in films. And the more you see that, the more your perception will change. White people, we see them in like every light possible. You see them
Right.
negative, you see them positive, you see them middle of the road. You know what I'm saying? You see people that don't pay their bills, you see people that do pay their bills. Like, you see the whole gambit. So you know, oh, well, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's white people like this, it's white people like that. When it comes to black people, you only typically probably, it's probably 90-10 or 80-20 negative. And then it's just a small percentage that's positive, when in real life, it's 50-50, just like anybody else.
Yeah, man. I mean, to be honest, it's like the reality is that this stuff that we're dealing with now is probably never gonna completely cease. It'll probably always be around, unfortunately. And that is an unfortunate reality that we're gonna have to deal with. I think,
Why do you think it'll always be around?
I think it'll always be around because it always has been around. I think it's just been masked. Back in the 60s and 70s, they were more at liberty with the Jim Crow laws, different things like that they had in place. Then they were more at liberty to do the things that they were doing outright, boldly, and free. And so you had them, once Dr. Martin Luther King, the Malcolm X's of the world, and other civil rights activists came on the scene and things changed. Then they changed, but what racist people did was, instead of doing it bold, then they started going underneath. They started doing things underhanded. So I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, racism doesn't go anywhere. It's like water. It takes whatever the shape or form of the bottle or bowl or whatever it goes into, it takes that shape. And that's what it's doing. It's just morphing. You know what I mean? So it's almost like COVID right now. COVID's just morphing. It's not necessarily going anywhere. It's just morphing. And so that's why I feel like it's not really going to go anywhere. I feel like it's something that we're always going to deal with. It's always something that we're going to have to deal with. Because
clearly though, it's a big difference between 1878 and 2018. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has been massive progress. And it continues to be progress. So
right. But we ain't gonna progress. We ain't gonna progress to the point where racism is gone, though, because it's gonna. Because people, because people that are racist are gonna teach their kids. I don't care if they exhibit it in your face or not.
They're gonna die off.
if they die off, they're gonna teach their kids. You know what I'm saying? And their kids is gonna teach their kids. It's just like, you know what I mean? That's that. So it's unfortunately something that I don't think that we'll ever see an end to until the end of the world. Yeah.
You know why that is, though? You know why you don't think that?
I'm wondering why. Do you know why?
I think the reason why you don't think that is just because we've seen so much of it. Like, it's hard to. It literally feels like a fantasy, right? to be like, yo, this won't exist anymore. Like, right? You know what I'm saying? It feels like it feels like a movie, like which is so wild. Like, it feels like a movie for you to say people will just judge you based upon who you are. Not because of some movie they saw, not because of the color of your skin, not because your grandfather told you something weird about black people and now you think that they all lazy or whatever it is. It's like, you say, I remember I was talking to my grandfather when I was a kid. I'm saying I'm a kid, but I'm probably like in my early 20s. My grandfather at the time was in his 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And we was watching what's the movie where they had to go Saving Private Ryan. I'm saying we was watching Saving Private Ryan. After the movie went off, he said, I mean, it was an all right movie, but they ain't gonna do all that to save no one man. They ain't gonna do all that to save no one man. And then he said, you know what? He said, I don't trust white people. And at the time, I was more optimistic than I am right now. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward 20 years later. But at the time, I was just like, you don't trust white people? Like, what you talking about?
Why would you say that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? And he's just like, well, when I grew up, it was this, it was like this, it was like that. You don't know. I mean, like, they tell you one thing in front of your face, you don't know what they're gonna do. So I don't trust them. And I was like, well, I understand. So I started talking about, you know what I'm saying, activist things. I said Martin Luther King, this, and that. So all these different things happen. I was like, yo, there was white people that was a part of that too. It wasn't just
absolutely.
You know so
freedom fighters.
So I'm like, white people played a role in us getting more rights and, you know what I'm saying, all of that kind of stuff too. He's like, yeah, I know. I still don't trust him though. And I used to think it was weird. I just was like, well, you know, you're old. You lived through a lot more harsher things than I have. So I understand that. But in my mind, I just was like, yeah, you're old. You don't get it. Now you fast forward 20 years and I'm like him. Not to the same extent, but I don't have that carefree feeling of, yeah, you know, it's just a couple pockets of racism here and there, and it's just whatever. Nah, it's everywhere, bro. Everywhere you go, and you're saying, and I have I have this I have like a mental checklist I go through whenever something happens to me. And racism is at the bottom, and I hate to get to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? I'm at work, I'm over here, I'm at a store, wherever I'm at, and I run through the thing. This dude's talking to me weird. What's going on? Is it because I got a dirty shirt on? No. Is it because I look guilty? No. And I'm going through this long checklist I have. And I'm getting close to the bottom where you don't really have a reason to be accusing me of something unless it's because I'm black. Because I don't went through everything else. There's nothing else left. And it's just a crazy feeling to know that, like, wow, I just went through like 50 things on my checklist. And here we are right back at the bottom again. And it's like every time I hear about somebody being shot or killed or, you know what I'm saying, murdered by the police, or I see something that's racist that is like blatantly racist. It just...
Pardon the interruption, but if you like what you saw so far,
make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, tell a friend to tell their mama to tune in right now. This is your chance. Right now. Hit the bell right now.
Back to the show.
Like, I get like this almost like a depressing feeling, like it's 2021 and we're still doing this. Like, and it makes you feel like, well, it makes me feel like, so then we're not really as far, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm 40, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to be 44 next week. I'm 44 years old and we still doing this? My parents dealt with this. My grandparents dealt with this. Like, we still doing this? And and I start to get almost like a hopeless feeling, like, so now I gotta pay attention when I go outside. Now I gotta make sure I tell my son how to react when he comes in contact with the police. When he sees a bunch of white people and he's the only black person, I gotta tell him, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be the one that's found guilty or accused if something goes wrong in that group of people, because you're just guilty by your skin color, not because of any kind of evidence. And you have to be aware of that like ahead of time. It's just like a super whack feeling. And the only way like I really get out of that is knowing that God is aware of it. This is not catching God by surprise. It's not like, God, what's up? Oh man, that's happening to you? I wasn't paying attention. Like, no, he knows what's happening to me. He knows, he's aware. And so that is really the only thing that gives me comfort because I know he got me. You know what I'm saying? So it says, you know what I'm saying? And so you know what I'm saying? Like scripture says, all things work together. Not some things, not most things. And it sucks because it's like, you trying to apply that to this? I'm not really trying to, but that's what it says. So I have to hold to that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hold to that and just and put blinders on and act like it's all good. No, it's not all good. We need to do something about it. It's things we can do to change things. And so it's a super tightrope balance you gotta walk of trusting God and using action to try to change things. You know what I mean?
See, the thing I was gonna say is that even though it's something that I feel like that will always be around, I feel like the way to change it is doing what the scripture said, which is going into the highways and the hedges and compelling men and women and children to come to God through Jesus. Like, I feel like that's a big factor because, you know, protesting is fine. It's cool. But what if we took that same vigor and said, yo, I'm going to go after people and try to get them saved? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if we took that and was like, yo, I'm really going to go and do this? And again, I'm not knocking protesters or whatever. Like, you going out there, you doing your thing. If it's changing it, cool. But I just feel like we're not on a whole, especially even the church in terms of at large, not any one denomination, but even the church at large, we could all get together to put denominations aside, you know what I mean? And decide and determine that we're going to go out and try to, you know what I mean, witness to those that are out there. Because some of the riots and some of the looting and some of the things like that wouldn't happen if we were out there trying to win some of these people that are upset, that are mad, that are, you know what I mean? So I think that...
But you're saying, watch this though. Like, the church is not exempt from the same issues. I'm saying a lot of times, unfortunately, being saved is not stopping people from being racist, which sounds wild, but it's just true. I think there's a I don't know if it's a mental block or I haven't walked in your shoes, so I don't really understand it. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but I've been in plenty of churches with people that, for the most part, I believe like, yo, this is a real Christian person, and they just said something super racist. Like, but I don't think they recognized it as being racist. They just saw it as just being normal to them, because no one ever called them out on it or say, yo, what you just said was hurtful to me. What you just said is sideways. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I remember me and my wife went to this church. This was a mixed church. A lot of white people, a lot of black people, a lot of Hispanic people. We had this church. At the time, I had just come into some money, like a lot of money. And you know what I'm saying? I was, and still am. I'm a tither, right? So I came into a lot of money. I gave 10%. 10% was like 9 G's or something like that. Or it was like a lot of money. I just was like, it was a lot of money. So my wife was like, you sure you want to do that? Or I'm like, yeah. Because, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't have had the money. So it's just whatever. Mm-hmm. I wrote the check. I put the check in the joint. A couple weeks after that, I think it was around Thanksgiving time. The church is in a predominantly black neighborhood. All the white people that go to that church live somewhere else. We actually live in this neighborhood though. Mm-hmm. So we're there, and the church is doing like some kind of outreach where they're helping people with Thanksgiving, giving them money, giving them food, giving them this, giving them that. I've never really talked to the pastor personally at this point, so he don't know me really at all. So we're there. It's after church. walk around getting, you know what I'm saying, getting our stuff together, talking to my wife, talking to different people. The pastor walks up to me and says, "Where do you live?" "I live around the corner." "Oh, where you live around the corner?" I mean, he didn't say, "Oh, word," but he's like, "Oh, okay, you live around the corner?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, we doing a drive. Do you need money for food, or do you need this? Do you need that?" And I'm just looking at him like, "Why did you say that to me? You haven't asked me enough questions yet to know if I need money. And you're not asking everybody in here, do they need money? You're not asking all these other white people sitting around me. You're not asking them, do they need money? You're not asking them, do they need help?" It would have been different if he was just doing that to everybody he ran up on. "Yo, we doing a drive.
Right.
Yo, you need food, you need this." You didn't do that. You skipped past 5 or 6 white people, beeline to me. "Yo, do you need money for food? Do you need this?" And I'm thinking to myself, I just put 9 G's in the bucket last week. I don't need money, bruh. I could buy my own Thanksgiving food. But I didn't say that because I'm not supposed to be telling people how much money I gave. You don't know who I am. You don't even know my name. In fact, you didn't even ask me what my name was. So you don't know that I'm the person that wrote the check. You don't know nothing. But that's an example of what I'm talking about. That's not necessarily racist, but you looked at me after I told you where I lived at, you determined you must need help if you live around here. And it's just stuff like that. I don't think that he wasn't saved.
Mm-hmm.
But that just was way over his head. He did a super quick assumption. "Oh, you live here, so you probably don't have money. You probably need help. We're here to help. In fact, everybody that's white lives somewhere else, and that's why we set up the church in the city, so we can help the city." And it's almost like this weird savior complex. You know what I'm saying? Where you see the movies where the white dude always saves the black people, and it's kind of you know what? Me and my wife finna leave right now. I don't really want to talk to you right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that type of stuff. We have to, I won't say we have to. I think one of the things that is going to help is actually people talking and sharing their experiences so that people know what the other side feels like. That's not necessarily a salvation thing. That's you're just ignorant to what is actually real thing. You don't know that was crazy what you just said. To assume that because I live around here, I must not have any money or I must need help.
There are things that are the truth that people are taking offense to. You know what I mean? Listen, man, black people do like chicken. What are we getting offended for if somebody says it? I just don't. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. I'm not.
Everybody likes, first of all, everybody likes chicken, not just black people.
Yeah, but we really like chicken. I grew up eating chicken every day because it was, and there's a reason behind it because it was cheaper. It was cheaper for my mother to go out and get a chicken, and you could do more with the chicken. So we ate chicken every day. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I didn't grow up eating chicken every day, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But
we ate chicken.
But, okay, stereotypes have an element of truth to them. That's why they become a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some piece of truth to it. But obviously you see what's wrong with that.
Hold up. It depends on the connotation of what you're using it. To me, it just depends on the connotation. I have a lot of Spanish friends. They eat rice and beans. They eat rice.
Right.
They love rice.
Right,
so to be y'all love rice.
Because it's part of the culture.
Right. It is. It's literally a part of the culture. And they don't be like, yo, why you say that, bro? They're they don't do that. This is like, yo, y'all love rice, man. You're like, yo, I gotta have that drink with every meal. Okay, we get it. So, but some people are it's taboo to say, to say they love rice, or it's like, if it's true and it's in a connotation where at least if you know somebody. I'm not saying like randomly running up on people being like, yo, y'all like chicken? Yo, you got the rice and beans, son? What's good, yo?
Yeah, but you know what? But the reason why that is, though, why Black people are, for the most part, touchy about stuff like that is because it's like we don't have a culture. Our culture was stolen from us most of the time. Now, if you're Black but you're from the Caribbean, you got your own culture. If you're Black and you're from a different thing, you typically have your own culture. But if your ancestors came on a ship, you don't know nothing about yourself unless you researched it. And even then, what you research is probably not even 100% accurate. It's like all you got is, well, we're all here, we're all Black, we like chicken. Like, chicken's not my culture, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so when people say that, like the rice and beans thing, that is definitely a cultural thing. And that's why they don't care, because it's like, for generations, this is what we've been doing. Well, it just so happened that we did this because it was cheaper when we were slaves. And that, you know what I'm saying? It all leads back to something kind of negative. And so depending who you are, you might be like, so what? Yeah, of course, yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, like amongst ourselves, yeah, chicken. But when somebody else say it, like, you don't know me. You don't know nothing about my culture. Like, I don't even know my culture. So how are you running up on me talking about chicken jokes? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what?
Chicken jokes.
What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Depending who you talking to, depending what time of day it is, you might catch a bad one. Like, yo, like, that sounds kind of racist to me. Like, you just, you know what I'm saying?
I do, but I don't. I do. I think it depends.
You're one of the people that, you know what I'm saying, that I probably don't bother you, but watch this. Depending upon who said it and how they said it, you would feel differently.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's definitely circumstantial. Like, sure. It's definitely circumstantial. I'm not saying it for that. I'm just saying on an overall basis, racism has been pushed so much to the forefront that people are scared to a certain degree to say regular things that you would normally say. And that's the point I'm trying to make, is that they're scared almost to say regular things that you would normally say. And to your point about the culture, it was stolen, but I believe we've taken it back. Us as a Black people, we've taken it back. We've created culture. That's why people try to do what we do all throughout the world, though. They try to emulate what we do all throughout the world, though. Literally.
This is true. There is no denying that. But we haven't taken it back. We've just made a new one.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, we made it. We made it ourselves. We made a new one, because
for most of us, though, it's like, you don't. I mean, once you go back so many generations, you don't even know anything anymore. You can't be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're from Scotland or something like that, your family came from Scotland, mad people could trace that back. Like, oh, my grandfather was in Scotland, he did this, and his dad did this. You could go back super far. Most people, not everybody, I'm saying obviously, but most Black people and most brown people, you can only go back so far, and then you're just like, I don't know. I remember my aunt told me one time, this is like my great aunt. She was like, yeah. She said her grandfather was a slave. And so she doesn't know anything before him. And you know what I'm saying, she was like the family historian, so to speak. She knew she knew all the cousins, she knew pretty much everything. And before she died, me and my mom went over there. We had a tape recorder and we just let her talk so we could like get it. Because once she's gone, like you know what I'm saying, we got nothing. And hearing her say that was like, yeah, my grandfather was a slave, and then he was, you know what I'm saying, when he got free, he married so and so, and then that's where the Johnsons came from, and then that's where this came from because his slave owner was named Johnson, and he didn't feel like fighting about it, so he just kept the name and this and that. And I'm just listening like, this is wild to me. Like, our name is not Johnson though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that like does something to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, I mean, you know how it is. I mean, just like you said, like, Black people are the kings and queens of just, yo, it don't matter what our situation is, we gonna make it dope. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no instruments, we gonna make hip hop. We ain't got this, we finna do that. We don't do this, yo, we finna do that. So much so, other people see that it's profitable, they start making money off of it and start flipping around. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but it's just like, yeah.
It is, but also to the point of culture, we have created a culture to the point where if you are Black and not necessarily affiliated all the way with the culture, then you're looked at as white. And that's real talk. If you're not always using slang and if what do people say? You speak proper English. You speak proper things like that. Places you go, things like that. If you don't, you know what I mean? You're looked at as white by Blacks though. Like by Blacks. Blacks look at you as white. Whites don't look at you as as white, but Black people look at you as white. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes depending on where you live, the neighborhoods you at, all kinds of stuff. And so it has been created not because of now, but this is long since been created. The separation, the separation, the divide has been created a long time ago. And we're still dealing with the repercussions of that today. Still dealing with the repercussions. Something interesting though, when I first saw this story about the boy, or Dante Wright, I'm sorry. When I first saw the story about that, I didn't know that his mother was white.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I was wondering and I was looking and I was watching to see if it was going to make a difference that he was half white and half Black.
No, because he just looks like a regular Black kid. He doesn't.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Well, you could, I can tell he was mixed, but like he had a mixed look to him though.
Don't do that.
He did. It was real.
First of all, there's no such thing as a mixed look. I hate people.
There's definitely a such thing as a mixed look.
No, it's
there is definitely a such. You can't always tell, but there's traits that come out with.
Nope.
What do you? How so? Explain this?
Because when most people say that, they say because you have light skin, you must be mixed. That's just completely false. Some people Black people cover we cover the whole color spectrum. Like somebody could just be light skinned and they don't have, and yo, like this is something that really bothers me. So this is not directed towards you. I'm just being, I know.
No, you're good.
So I've been around people at like different jobs or whatever, what have you. And this is a thing where Black people like to play this colorism thing where it's like, oh, you this shade, so however you view that shade, with typically lighter equals better and darker equals worse.
Which is what I was just talking about.
And it's just so annoying because it's like, yo, I show somebody a picture of my children. It's like, oh, your children are light. Like you marry somebody white? No, my wife is Black. But if I decided to marry somebody like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? What is that to you? But it's just like, yo, like, just because somebody's light doesn't necessarily mean that like there's somebody white around. Like some people just come out light skinned because it's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
So like when you said that, it just kind of triggers something in me like, oh yeah, you can tell. And I'm just like, are you gonna say because they light skinned, you can tell that they mix? Like that don't always mean that.
No, I I generally can tell by the texture of the hair. The texture of the hair seems to be pretty consistent. I have mixed family. I have, you know what I'm saying? I have mixed family. So I have a bunch of cousins that are half and half. And so you can generally tell by the texture of the hair. That's what I look at. Light skin, that doesn't matter. I got my uncle's darker than us, and his wife was darker. I was a few shades darker than him. And they had a daughter that's light skinned with green eyes. So what responsibility do we have not to get caught in situations of crime to put ourselves there? Because some of these things are happening because some people are putting themselves in those positions to have the cops come after them with what they're doing.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't feel like I have no responsibility for somebody being racist to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all on you. You know what I'm saying? If I commit a crime, I deserve to go to jail. I deserve to have my day in court. I deserve to be punished for what I did. I don't deserve to die because you're racist.
Nah, I'm not.
You know
I don't believe you do this. I don't believe nobody deserves to die because somebody is racist or something like that. But why take that chance if you know that that's a chance?
Right, but it's still like, I shouldn't have to do that. Like, that's what Black people be so mad about. It's like, why do I gotta go through 900 extra steps to make sure I don't get killed? And this dude, like the video we saw at the very beginning of this joint, he get the curse, slap, grab the dude, close the door, drive off. Like I'm saying, like, why is it that he doesn't have to be nice to the cops? Why is it that he doesn't have to comply? Like, he could just get to do whatever he want to do. It's almost like if you got a sibling and like he does everything wrong and doesn't get punished, you doing everything right. And you do one little tiny thing wrong, you want punishment for a month. Yo, like, I'm saying, can the punishment fit the crime? Like, yo, I did one thing wrong, I should face some little punishment for the wrong thing I did. I should not face judge, jury, executioner by you. And like, this is my own, obviously it's my own personal opinion. I don't feel like I have a responsibility for none of that other than self-preservation. Like, I don't want to die today, so I'm going to relinquish the rights that I actually have, which sounds retarded to me. Like, I have to relinquish rights that I'm supposed to have so I don't die. I should be able to speak my mind. I should be able to you know what I'm saying, quote whatever amendment rights we supposed to have, but I'm afraid of being killed, so I'm not gonna use the rights that you claim that I have. Like, I mean, you have a responsibility, I think, as a parent to teach your kid, to raise them so that they can live and come home every night. That's a responsibility given to me by God, and I'm just trying to do right by my children and right by my family and make sure I'm good. But in the big scheme of things, I'm not supposed to have to do that. I'm just doing that because I recognize the evil that's in the world and I know what can happen. So it's tough, man. Like, this is hard to talk about without feeling like this is whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, because no matter how you spit it out or how you say it, we always end up with the whack end of the stick. Like, well, you know what? You say you just gotta comply. You just gotta do this and do that.
It goes back to my point. You either do it or you die. Like, that's the point we're at. And that is why people are upset. Because it's like, yo, why should I have to live like that? Why should I have to live in such fear? Like, and that's how I was relating it. There was a, you know what I'm saying? There was a fear in slavery. I wasn't there, but I've seen things, I've read things. And there was from what I've read and from what I've heard, stories told of, there was a fear that was there. That you could, there's a fear of doing certain things. Like, even if you wanted to. Like, right. I can't do that. Because that's, you know what I'm saying? And is where we are. We're in a marginalized era of that now, where there's a fear of certain things. Like you said, we could never have done what that dude did. If we acted, first of all, if they had perceived that we had a gun, not even seen it, because as we know, many people have died for them perceiving, for them perceiving that they had a gun. They felt like possibly they got a gun, maybe, and have died.
He told them it was almost the same exact situation. He told them he had a gun. They were aware there was a gun. He reached into the glove compartment. He told them beforehand there was a gun. He still shot him.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's where we at. And it's a shame that that's where we're at, but that's where we're at. And you know what I'm saying? Besides all the other things, the protests, the other things that we are doing as a people, we also got to pray, man. We also got to pray. Because if we believe in God at all, as you said earlier, he knows what's going on. He knows. He's not oblivious. As the song said, he sits high and he looks low. He knows everything. He's definitely omniscient. So he knows everything. And we got to pray and encourage and hopefully inspire others to do the same.
Absolutely. There's no question about that. So this is not one of the more funniest episodes, but it's something
that we're going to have now. Word.
So it's something that definitely needs to be talked about. And you know what I'm saying? What you heard, I mean, this is us sharing our hearts. You know what I'm saying? This is me sharing my heart. This is Tu sharing his heart. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
And hopefully people will listen to it, watch it, and understand that this is real life for us. You know what I'm saying? People that have brown skin have to deal with things that other people do not have to deal with.
Absolutely.
That's just what it is. You can believe it or not believe it. I really don't care. So make sure you hit the bell. Make sure you follow. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. If you on Facebook,
all that.
Share. If you
all that.
Share.
Make sure you comment too.
Definitely leave a comment. If you want us to talk about specific topics, tell us what the topics are. You can hit us up in the chat. You can hit us up in the email. You can hit us up anywhere. The email address is wisdomopinions@gmail.com. It was awesome talking to you.
Word.